From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Afternoon Edition.
Right now in the Afternoon Edition, a search for a burglary suspect in the East Bay Hills. Police in Orinda say this morning someone broke into a home on Lloyd Lane, just off Moraga Way. Our chopper spotted a number of police cruisers all over the surrounding neighborhood. Our photographer is on the ground, saw at least 2 people being handcuffed and led into squad cars. In the meantime, officers from Orinda and San Ramon, along with the Contra Costa Sheriff's deputies, continue to comb the area with drones and canine units. Police are asking people to avoid that area. Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Our other top story, San Francisco taking a tough stance as we head into the holiday season. The city is about to get 400 new automated license plate readers to combat organized retail theft and other crimes. Live look at Union Square, where just minutes ago, the mayor announced legislation to fast-track the use of those cameras. Those cameras were bought with a part of the $17 million grant the city received from the state. Before they can be used, though, the Board of Supervisors need to make logistical changes that normally take up to 9 months to implement. However, the mayor hopes to cut through the red tape to get them up and running in time for the holiday. In the meantime, police will increase security in Union Square for shoppers.
Just to be clear, people will be safe. We have more police officers, both uniform officers as well as plainclothes police officers that will be all around this area.
And the mayor will introduce those license plate readers legislation at today's Board of Supervisors meeting. Other stories we're following this afternoon. One person is dead after being shot by an Oakland police officer near City Hall earlier this morning. It happened around 4 a.m. at Frank Ogawa Plaza. That is near City Hall. Once again, the police department says officers responded to a shot spotter notification. And when they got there, they found someone who had been shot. The person died at the scene. It wasn't until after the other officers got there that they learned the person had been shot by another officer. The police union said the officer in question was about to start his shift when someone shot at him first. The officer was not hurt. A police spokesperson did not answer any questions at a press conference. And later this morning, she did say the officer has been put on paid leave. In San Jose, a woman in a wheelchair was hit and killed. Police say the victim was crossing Blossom Hill Road at a red light when an SUV hit her. The driver involved is cooperating with police. So far, the identity of the victim has not been released. And today marks 1 month since the deadly October 7th Hamas terror attacks in Israel that killed 1,400 people, plunging that region into war. Today, the Israeli military says its ground forces are now fighting in the depths of Gaza City. And according to the Hamas-run health ministry, more than 10,000 people, including more than 4,000 children, have been killed in Gaza since that conflict started. Okay, turning to the weather right now, giving you a live look outside at Oakland. Clear skies this Tuesday afternoon. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Now we're going to see clear skies today and tomorrow, which is a very big contrast from yesterday when we had that cold front sweep through with a lot of rain and clouds and, of course, those chilly temperatures. We're going to hold on tight to those chilly temperatures, but we're going to see gustier conditions into this afternoon with these clear skies. Wind speeds anywhere up to around 35 miles per hour near Bodega Bay. Gusty conditions stretching along that coastline down into Half Moon Bay until the late evening hours tonight. And to add to that, as we extend into the next 7 days, everyone's probably wondering, okay, we had some rain already. When are we going to see it again? As early as next Monday and Tuesday. On our long-range models, that's the best chance of showers that we have. So let's take a quick look at what's going on today here in the Bay Area. With all these clear skies we're seeing into this afternoon, let's match that up with these chilly temperatures. We're sitting about 5 degrees below average along our coast, in the 60s near San Francisco, upper 60s off into the East Bay with a very similar trend up near Santa Rosa, and stretching all the way into the Santa Clara Valley we go. We're sitting in the upper 60s near San Jose and all the way over into Los Gatos.
Do you ride BART? 500,000 people a day used to, but the pandemic and crime scared most away.
BART definitely does take on some of the characteristics of the neighborhoods in which our stations are a part of.
Now BART is on the brink. All this week we expose what's wrong and what will it take for BART to survive. And we continue our series, BART on the Brink. We hear a lot about the issues with the transit agency. Ridership has plummeted and revenue right along with it. And it's not just remote work keeping people away. A recent Bay Area Council poll found that 78% say they would ride BART more often if it was cleaner and safer. That's more than 3 out of 4 people put off by fear of having their cell phones swiped or witnessing open drug use. So how can BART bring people back on board? Well, Wilson Walker tells us it's complicated.
I started bringing the Clorox during the pandemic, and I don't run out.
Her daily commute runs from Antioch into San Francisco, and Larice Brown always comes prepared.
Civic Center is the worst, I think. That's where I get off, but I think that's a horrible station.
It really depends on which station you're going on.
Harvey Zhao is making his regular trip out of West Oakland.
But I definitely say when you enter the BART station at certain stops, it could be really unsafe.
They are the concerns that have driven many riders away. Crime, cleanliness, open drug use, the problems that have now plagued BART for years.
And one morning, I got to pull out the camera. I got to show my friends this. They're not going to believe it.
In 2018, it was drugs in station hallways that made headlines, and from there, many riders have turned their phones towards BART's struggles, documenting everything from trash to bad behavior. And for riders who feel like crime has been worse on BART in recent years, it has.
For 211, the victim advised that they were robbed at night phone for their phone.
It is robberies that account for the majority of violent crime reported by BART police, and they started rising back in 2015, but while the numbers dropped during the pandemic, they did not drop as much as ridership. Robberies per passenger trip are up in recent years, and a similar trend can be seen with aggravated assaults.
We've heard very clearly from our passengers that they want to see more uniform presence on the trains, both from our sworn police officers and our unarmed civilians.
BART's new chief of police says the answer to crime and rider anxiety is more patrols. They say the current response time to serious incidents is about 4 minutes.
That's exactly how quick you can do it when we're looking for incidents that just occurred.
There are 4,000 cameras across the system, and while the station activity can be reviewed in seconds, the train cameras cannot.
Correct. The videos from the trains currently are a system that's recorded on the individual train cars.
BART is hoping to upgrade from thumb drives to real-time access, but crime, like robberies and assaults, that is just one part of what has riders concerned.
They have not done anything about the homeless. They're laying all over the place. They're doing crack. They're doing this or that.
Hello, I'm going to touch your arm and just say, how are you?
Crisis intervention specialists are deployed, offering help to those who might accept it, but they often end up serving as first responders. Every few days, sometimes several times a day, BART reports a staff member reviving a passenger who could otherwise become the next overdose fatality.
But in the meantime, we do have to ask you to sit up and not be under your blanket on the train.
Another part of the strategy here is the new fare gates, along with helping finances. The hope is that they will also improve riding conditions.
Add a little security there, so more people are actually paying their tickets and coming in. They're actually using BART for transportation.
You see a lot of crap on BART. I mean, this is my friend.
Trains that are less chaotic will end up being cleaner. That's another hope for an agency that does spend a lot of time having to clean things up. But in many of these respects, crime, homelessness, the drug crisis, BART is trying to hold back problems that are surging outside the fare gates.
Hello.
Yeah, BART definitely does take on some of the characteristics of the neighborhoods in which our stations are a part of.
Super Civic, there's a subject who's slapping the gate with a hammer, crushing an axe.
So we have seen the challenges facing BART, and they are us, or they're the challenges that we see here in our communities every day, only they're moving through the transit system that connects all of us. How do you fully insulate BART from all of that? Or how do you do it well enough that the passengers who became uncomfortable start feeling a little bit better about getting back on board?
And in the South Bay, VTA is paying for a Santa Clara County extension despite construction delays and cost overruns. Pushing things back, it's determined to push ahead.
How much is it too much? We don't know. It's never going to be cheaper than it is now.
Here's the problem, though. They're only seeing about a 10% of the ridership they were expecting with the initial extension to Berryessa.